There is a massive sector as it relates to AI that a lot of capital money has not moved into as of yet. And we're going to talk about it. It's the next big bottleneck, right? We all know that the big bottleneck right now is AI memory, Micron, SK Hynix, Samsung. And those stocks have just exploded because of the shortage of memory production, memory chip production, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to talk to you and give you some insight into one of the biggest AI sectors that you need to be in if you're not. And we're going to talk about that right now. So give me a few minutes. I promise this is worth your time. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 stocks that you need to be looking at to be invested in for this next major wave of AI spending. And that next major wave is electricity. It's power. Okay. So we talk a lot here on this channel about the AI data center build out. Okay. And so to facilitate the mounting sheer amount of demand that is there for AI, it is the AI data center build out. Every single major hyperscaler is building out data centers, Meta, Amazon, Google, Alphabet, you name it, they're all doing it, right? Microsoft, all that kind of stuff. And they're all signing these massive deals for power. But the issue is the amount of power that can be generated, because if you look at our grid, the United States grid, it is old, it is antiquated. And you have to look at that and go, how are we going to essentially, there's an analogy I have, how to essentially add the sheer amount of power that is generated, just like in Japan, in the next 5 years. Like literally, how can we create enough power to bolt on as much electrical power to facilitate, Japan's needs? That's how much power we need to facilitate how much AI demand there is. Okay. And so this is the next bottleneck. This is the next big wave. It is electricity. So these 3 stocks are the ones that are going to power this build out, are going to be a major part of it. So you need to be invested in 1 or 2, or maybe all 3 of these. I certainly am. And I'm adding one of these. One of these was new to me, and I was aware of the other 2, but I'm going to be adding one of these to my portfolio. Okay. So the numbers behind the AI build out keep getting bigger. Right now, that number is about 700 billion is going to be spent at the end of 26. That number was about 4 trillion by the end of 23. It's actually now risen to 5.3 trillion is going to be spent on AI data center build out and AI build out by 2030. And the number is 7 trillion by 2033. Okay. There's mild concern about CapEx expenditures and whether or not there's people going to slow down or not. But look, I think it's going to continue to build, because I think it's just going to be insane. So all of this demand is landing on the electric grid that can take years to expand. Securing a grid connection, i.e., like if you are a major hyperscaler like Meta, as an example, for a large data center campus, can be a multi-year wait, and the equipment needed to build a new power plant is in short supply. I'll give you even a real life example. A friend of mine works for Vistra, one of the companies we're going to talk about. And he and I have talked about it. He said that all of these companies like Meta and AWS, they're actually building their AI data centers on the land, as next to these nuclear power plants, as an example. And they're trying to sign these huge multi-billion-dollar, multi-year deals. And that's really what we're talking about, right? Okay. So the 3 stocks are Bloom Energy. Okay. So that's them, Bloom Energy. We're going to jump more into that in just a minute. GE Vernova, and then Vistra, as I've already mentioned. Those are the 3 main ones that are kind of in the spotlight, if you will, right now, associated with this kind of the AI data center build out for the electrical side of it. So if you don't know what Bloom Energy is, they make solid oxide fuel cells, systems that generate electricity on site from natural gas without combustion, letting data centers skip the wait for grid hookup. Okay. Remember I told you about Vistra? Well, the way that companies are working with Vistra is they're literally building their AI data centers on the dirt, on the land owned by Vistra, but it's adjacent to the nuclear facility. Okay. So Bloom is a different way to go about for a data center or things of that nature to skip the wait for right there for a grid hookup. Bloom's first quarter revenue soared 130% year over year to 750 million, driven by 208% jump in product revenue. They also posted net income of 70 million, reversing a year ago loss, and management raised its full year outlook, now expecting 26 revenue of 3.4 billion to 3.8, 80% growth, so forth. Okay. So if we look at Bloom, it has exploded on the 1 year. Look at that. It's up 1,070%. Well, Austin, that's too much. Is there still opportunity? Yeah, I think there is, because again, if you're looking at it from a multi-year standpoint, right? If you're looking at buying an AI stock like Bloom Energy right now and holding it over a period of time, I think that absolutely there are gains to be had. And if you look at the last month, it's down 10% on the 1 month. Okay. But again, you always need to come back to a diversified portfolio. Okay. And a multi-year look. Okay. That's how you kind of need to look at it. Okay. That's how I look at it. Unless you're doing kind of swing trading and things of this nature, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Okay. Oracle said Bloom fuel cells will fully power Project Jupiter, its AI data center in New Mexico, replacing the gas turbines and diesel generators they were going to use. Notably, management said more than half of Bloom's AI data center backlog comes from customers other than Oracle. So obviously, they're getting a large portion from Oracle, but again, they're getting other business. Okay. Bloom, quote, is rapidly becoming the standard and go-to choice for on-site power. So think about it this way. Remember, Bloom has technology that allows companies to build faster, get up and running faster, and not have to have necessarily a grid hookup scenario. Okay, so that's what they do. So it's interesting. So Bloom Energy, and the ticker is BE right there. It's traded on the New York Stock Exchange. All right. So next one, GE Vernova. This one was interesting. This one really wasn't on my radar. Okay, and this was one that I think I'm going to definitely pick up. So Bloom helps data centers bypass the grid. GE Vernova supplies the grid itself, along with the gas turbines. Utilities are waiting in line to order the power equipment. So they make the power equipment for the grid. First quarter orders surged 71% on an organic basis to 18.3, pushing its total backlog to 163 billion. Look at that number. Its gas turbine backlog and slot reservation agreements grew from 83 to 800 gigawatts, and management now expects to reach at least 110 gigawatts by the end of 26. Okay, so GE Vernova's electrification segment, which makes grid equipment, et cetera, booked 2.4 billion of equipment orders to support data centers during the first quarter, more than all of 25. Further, the company's free cash flow has gone up dramatically, 4.8 billion. So again, this is think of it this is a good way to think about this is kind of like Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM, right? TSM actually manufactures the chips for NVIDIA, AMD, so forth, right? So GE Vernova actually manufactures the equipment, the turbines, things of this nature. And so if we take a look at their chart, again, not as compelling of massive gains. They give it this way: they're down 11% on the 1 month, and on the 1 year, they're only up 93%. I think this one is a more conservative, kind of more longer term, slow burn kind of AI stock associated with kind of what they do in the AI energy sector. Okay, so that's Bloom, and then we've got GE Vernova. Okay, so the third one is Vistra. Okay, so what Vistra is they are one of the largest competitive power producers in the U.S. They have a generation fleet spanning natural gas and nuclear. I believe they are the largest nuclear power plant owner, if you will, in the United States. Okay. AI's biggest spenders are locking up that fleet years in advance. Last year, the company signed a 20-year power purchase agreement with Amazon's cloud unit for up to 1,200 megawatts of nuclear power from its Comanche Peak plant in Texas. That's here where I am. Also signed a 20-year agreement to supply Meta platforms with nuclear energy capacity from its plants in the eastern U.S. So the hyperscalers like Amazon and Meta, they are locking up these types of deals with Vistra. And again, they're building their AI data centers on the land that's owned by Vistra. Okay, so they're adding natural gas capacity too, pending acquisition about 5,500 megawatts of generation from Cogentrix, targeted to close in second quarter. Vistra has reported first quarter ongoing operations adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, blah, 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 about 1.5 billion, and reaffirmed its full year forecast of 6.8 to 7.6 billion. If we take a look at their chart, again, there's opportunity here, I think, right? If you look at on the last year, right, they're down 14% on the month. They're up 4%. So you can see there's opportunity here. I do own Vistra, and I'm going to be planning on adding some more because I think there's massive opportunity. And you get on the 5 year up 778+%. I think that not a lot of capital money has moved yet into the electric side of it. And so what I've just given you is really good opportunities from Bloom, how they manufacture equipment and the technology to allow companies to kind of bypass the grid hookup. Vistra is the grid hookup. Vistra is the nuclear power plant hookup scenario. GE Vernova is kind of the think of them kind of similar to what Taiwan Semiconductor. They're actually manufacturing the grid components. So you kind of get a really good different feel here from all different ones. And so that's why I think there's something interesting in this. And I think you should definitely take a look at all of these. Okay. So before I let you go, let me show you real quickly how you can make even more money trading stocks and how I can help you make even more profit in that. So this is Micron. Let me show you real quickly. Micron technology you see right here. And so from this buy alert right here, all the way up to that sell alert in 43 days, 133%, Micron went up. See how the software told you where to buy and sell along the way? Okay, that's what it does. It gives you these buy and sell alerts that actually come in on your phone right there. Okay, the software runs on your phone or on a computer, wherever you want it to. The alerts can go wherever you want, could come in on your phone, your computer, whatever you want them to do. And it tells you when to buy and tells you when to sell. That's really what it does. Okay, it's literally about $1 a day to use the software. That's all it costs. You spend more than $1 a day on a cup of coffee. Okay. And if you want to make more profit and know when to buy and know when to sell, to lock in that profit and put it in your bank account, put it in your pocket, this is the software that you need to be at least try. Okay. There's a link in the description below, right down there, if you want to go check it. And I'll also pin a link in the first comment. The prices are cheaper than you see on the screen if you use that discount code down there. And there's a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. So you can try it. You don't like it for 30 days. You can try it and you get a complete refund. On a go-forward basis, you can cancel at any time. No long-term contracts, anything like that. Also, there's free coaching in the members area, live training coaching. Okay. And there's a private Discord community in the members area as well. You can access and become part of a community and not be alone kind of in your stock investing journey. Okay. So give that a look. It's right down there. Crazy way to make a lot of more money in stock. And I'm going to tell you this, if you don't know when to buy or sell any of your stocks and you're just flying blind, you're just kind of like, oh, just buy or sell. This is what you're literally have blinders on. Think of it this way. You're literally blind because you don't know when to buy and when to sell, the perfect time to make as much profit as possible. And that's what this technology does. It helps you for about $1 a day, $30 a month. Craziness. Links right down there. See ya. Go make some money.